Good day to all of you. The title of my presentation is Initiatives for Physical Education and Promotion of Physical Activity in the Philippines, to be presented by yours truly, Associate Professor Oscar Yoshihiro S. Santelices, and Future Leader Volunteer Mona Lisa A. Maghanoy, both from the University of the Philippines College of Human Kinetics.
First, let's talk about the Philippines. The Philippines is an archipelago composed of 7,107 islands. The three main islands are Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. It is rich in biodiversity and the topography consisting of mountainous terrains, dense forests, plains, and coastal areas. It is a culturally diverse country wherein East meets West, and Indo-Maya, Chinese, Spanish, and American influences in appearance and culture. The health of the Filipino people. The total population of the Philippines is close to 100 million. Diseases of the heart is the number one cause of mortality, and 61% of these deaths are due to non-communicable diseases. There are significant increases in mean blood pressure, dyslipidemia, and diabetes from 2003 to 2008. The Filipino children. 33% of population in the Philippines are under the age of 15. Accidents and pneumonia are the leading causes of mortality from ages 1 to 9. Diseases of the heart are the third leading cause of mortality from ages 10 to 14. Increase in incidence of childhood obesity from 1993 to 2005, wherein there's a higher prevalence in students from upper socioeconomic status, especially in the urban areas. This particular data was gathered from the Department of Health. Moving on, prevalence of malnourished children from 5.08 to 10 years old, or 61 to 120 months, wherein 9.1% are overweight and 8.6 are wasting. In this slide, prevalence of malnourished children ages 10.08 to 19 years old, or 121 to 228 months, shows that 8.3 are overweight and 12.4 are wasting. In this particular slide, 3 out of 10, or 31.1%, are overweight or obese for adults 20 years old and above. So this particular data was gathered in 2013, wherein out of this 31.1%, 27.6% are males and 34.4% are females. Let's talk about the physical education in the Philippines. Physical education are offered in most schools for only an hour per week, administered by licensed teachers who specializes in MAPE, or what you call Music, Arts, and Physical Education. And they are graduates from the Bachelor in Physical Education and Bachelor in Sports Science. Entering into the K-12 system by 2016, there are special programs in sports from grades 7 to 10, sports track for grades 11 and 12, and health optimizing PE in college. This particular slide shows an overview of physical education in the new K-12 program in the Philippines, wherein it is divided into multilateral development, physical literacy, and active for life. Going to the main topic of my presentation, in the overview of content, first is the research, assessment of motor skill development, self-perceptions, and physical activity in a group of school-age children, and the effect of a playground on selected anthropometric and performance measures of children, a post-disaster study. The second one is practice, Duwata Bohol, sport for disaster, and Philippine Games for physical education. And lastly, for dissemination, our very own, the National Conference on Sport. The first research title is the effect of a playground on selected anthropometric and performance measures of children, a post-disaster study. Background. Disasters continue to affect many people across the world in an increasing manner. Philippines is located on a typhoon belt and the ring of fire. Annually, there's an average of 8 to 9 tropical storms landfall and 10 storms entering Philippine waters. Following both natural and man-made disasters, relief efforts provide assistance to help affected communities to cope with the impact. Sport and physical activity. Sport and physical activity can play a valuable role in helping people affected by disasters, particularly in the early phases of relief. It can also be a valuable tool for long-term development and reconstruction after a disaster. All forms of physical activity that contribute to physical fitness, mental well-being, and social interaction. These include play, recreation, organized, casual, or competitive sports, and indigenous sports or games. The purpose of the study is to determine if the presence of a playground will cause a significant effect on measurements, both anthropometric and other selected performance measures of children. This particular slide shows the demographic profiles of the subjects during the pre-tests. Methodology. The following were measured for both pre and post-test: height, weight, waist and hip, grip strength, which uses the C-hand squeeze dynamometer, reaction time, which uses the ruler drop test, flexibility, which uses the modified sit and reach, the plank test, and cardiovascular endurance test, which uses the 3-minute step test. Findings. There is an increase in weight, waist circumference, hip circumference, grip strength, and flexibility in both groups. Children in the area with a playground had significantly 38.5% higher in body weight, 8.8% higher in hip circumference, and 74.1% higher in grip strength than those children in the area without any playground facility. These findings suggest that a playground in a resettlement area may facilitate some improvements in the health-related fitness of children. Let's move on to practice. The title is Duwata Bohol, which means Let's Play Bohol, a sport for disaster. Disaster struck in 2013, where Bohol was racked by a 7.2 magnitude earthquake. 23-second tremor toppled down buildings, Spanish-era churches, residences, and the Bolanons' sense of stability and security. More than repairs to their damaged roads and buildings, the Bolanons were seeking the sense of normality for things to be all right again. When athletes become heroes. With the initiative of a young faculty member, our colleague Mr. Pastor Manlangit III, a team from the UP College of Human Kinetics reached out to the community in a unique way. A sports relief and community recreation program was delivered to the survivors of the earthquake. Participants had their choice of clinics on football, basketball, volleyball, ultimate, gymnastics, yoga, and Pilates. Kids participated in art sessions and everybody danced the afternoon away with Zumba. Here are some pictures of their activities showing kids playing football, and the other picture shows children playing basketball. And another set of pictures where children played volleyball. And some other activities, which includes the Zumba dance. It was chance for kids to play, move, and have fun. For the older ones, it was an opportunity to build better relationships and get themselves to move again and to hope again for a better future. And last of its relevant initiative, which is dissemination, our very own National Conference on Sport Pedagogy from 2012 to 2014. Before 2012, physical educators in the Philippines rarely had an opportunity to convene, to learn from each other and update themselves on best practices. The Department of Education announced that the Philippines would follow the K-12 educational system, and there was a possibility that there will be no physical education in higher education. In response, the College of Human Kinetics of the premier state university in the Philippines decided to bring together all PE teachers and sports science practitioners all over the country to band together and start a movement in order to uplift the profession, which is the National Conference on Sport Pedagogy. The National Conference on Sport Pedagogy, or the NCSP, is an annual event by the University of the Philippines College of Human Kinetics. It was initiated in 2012 during the term of Dean Romualdo Dizer in cooperation with department chairs Professor Oscar Yoshihiro Santelices, Professor Francis Carlos Diaz, and Professor Hilda Uy. The NCSP brings together professionals in human movement sciences and provides a venue for continuing education, personal enrichment, and professional collaboration. It aims to elevate the standards of the profession of the physical education teachers, sports science practitioners, coaches, fitness and dance professionals, and ultimately empower attendees in being advocates of a lifetime physical activity involvement, fitness, and wellness. In 2012, the theme of the National Conference on Sport Pedagogy was Scientific Pedagogical Trends and Approaches in Physical Education and Sport Science Towards the 21st Century. And in 2013, Evidence-Based Teaching Towards a Collaborative Practice of Sport Science and Physical Education in the Philippines. And this is the year where the birth of a new organization for PE teachers and sports science practitioners, which is the Sports Science and Physical Educators of the Philippines.